guys, welcome back to Viv's Vibe. Today we're talking about pre-run recovery. Is that even a thing? So this is the continuation of my recovery plan series. Today we're gonna go over what I do before a run to set me up for success on the run, and also what I do to jumpstart my recovery before I go out. For example, I am sitting here today with 8+ hours of sleep under my belt. Rock on. That's because I intentionally went to bed early. We're talking 8:30, 9 o'clock early. And yes, I go to bed that early on weekends. So we can kind of go down my list. I don't do it perfectly every time, like I talked about in the recovery plan video. I kind of pick one for each week out of each category to be intentional with. Because we're not perfect humans and life gets in the way and it's hard to get in 8 hours of sleep on top of everything. So I pick one, but today I'm running you through what the perfect day would look like if I was able to run through the whole recovery plan. I'm sitting here today. I have prepped for my long run today. So I have all my running clothes, my food in here that I need both for the run and after the run so I can quickly recover post-run in that 10 to 15 minute window, and my shoes and everything. So that's ready to go, and I prepped my food yesterday so that I can quickly eat breakfast and hit the trails, but be fully fueled for my long recovery run. As I'm eating, I like to go through my pre-run checklist, and it's like a 10 to 20 second review of just how am I feeling and what my expectations are gonna be for the run. Say I had gotten 3 hours of sleep last night, I wouldn't set my expectations very high for my run, especially if it's gonna be speed work. I might need to do some rearranging and think about what's gonna be the most beneficial to my training plan on the whole. Is this gonna be a rage run? Am I physically tired already? Am I mentally exhausted? Because it's not always gonna be a morning run. You might come home from work and just be so exhausted. Is it wiser to skip the run and get some extra sleep in? So just kind of assessing these things before you go out for your run. The last thing you want to do is have these really high expectations when you're sick, when you haven't slept, when you haven't eaten before a long run, and then get back from your run and be very disappointed in your performance, because what that does is it adds stress into your life. You're bummed about your run, and that's not going to help aiding in the recovery process. So the point of the morning check-in for me is just to have some realistic expectations so that I don't go out on this run thinking I'm going to do X, Y, and Z and come back more stressed out than I was before the run. Running is supposed to be a joyful thing. It's a gift. We should enjoy it. Just like I enjoy a good cup of coffee and quote meal. When I say I like to jumpstart my recovery prior to my run, it comes down to the food that I'm eating. I used to do fasted runs, which I've come to learn was not the most efficient way for me to train. There's a lot of research out there that is pro fasted running, and then there's a lot of research out there that also says you have to eat before you run. And that I think really comes down again to what works best for you and what's gonna make you feel the best. I know Keelan and I think Zach Bitter, they hardly eat until like 2 hours into a run or something. So you gotta tailor it to what's gonna work for you. What works for me is if my run is 60 minutes or below, I'm gonna have a piece of fruit, maybe a couple handfuls of blueberries or something like that, but something light. I don't need a whole lot, especially if I'm going out for speed work. I want to have something in me, but I don't want to feel weighed down by the food. If it's 60 minutes or below and it's going to be a recovery super light run, those are the runs that I feel comfortable with going on fasted. If the run is 90 minutes or above, I do my best to get in something a little more hearty, usually 2 hours before I go out. So if you usually eat a banana, add some peanut butter to it. If you eat bagels, throw some cream cheese and maybe some fruit on top, or bacon. I don't know what you like. Something like that, that's gonna give you some sustained energy. The way I look at it is I would rather go out with a tank full of energy rather than go out with a half tank and come back completely empty. I want my body to have its glycogen stores topped off. I want it to have fuel so it doesn't have to break down my muscles more and more, but instead it can burn this as fuel so I don't start at a deficit. My body won't necessarily be recovering with this food, but it will be maintaining with this food. This is quote meal. Yes, you heard it right. Quote meal. And I am now going to show you what exactly that is and 3 other ideas that you can create for your breakfast as well. These are 3 breakfasts that I rotate throughout the week. They work really well for me. They sustain my energy. They've got good healthy fats, some protein, and a good amount of carb and sugar. So yeah, please enjoy. At this point, I pretty much know what I need to eat before race day, but it's because I've spent the time in the morning to test out different things. And I've logged that in my running log so that I know, like, ooh, yeah, I'm not gonna do the chia seed pudding because on a long run, that usually has some effects. Okay, let's do this thing. So this first one is Greek yogurt. I probably have this one the most. And Greek yogurt on its own really isn't that exciting, so you gotta zhuzh it up. So I like to put some berries in there. Since this is plain Greek yogurt, you're gonna want something to make it a little bit sweeter. I'm also gonna add in some blueberries. These are my favorite. Oh yeah, look at that. Okie dokie. And this right here, my friends, is bee pollen, which sometimes I use honey, but I just love bee pollen because it makes everything more fun and exciting and fun to look at. It makes things sweeter as well. Then I'm gonna add in some healthy fat, peanut butter. If you know me, you know how much I love peanut butter. I once bought 5 pounds of it. Don't ask me where you can buy that. You have to have a commercial license. If you're feeling extra special, which I often am, you get yourself some Choco chips and you just sprinkle those on. Yes, this is a breakfast meal, but I aim for healthy carbs in the morning with some long-lasting fat that's gonna make those carbs go longer and make my energy go longer, and then just things that are gonna make me excited. So chocolate chips for the win. For our next option, I'm going to do 2 variations, a sweet and a savory. The sweet breakfast option is what I have before every race. The sweet version is a sweet breakfast tortilla. It's going to involve a mix of peanut butter and honey, Nutella, ground cinnamon. So my peanut butter, I usually mix together with honey and cinnamon to make it into a beautiful blend. There's nothing fancy here going on. I mix these in together. So this is the peanut butter, Nutella, cinnamon blend. And spread that all around the tortilla. On race day, I usually have 2 of these. This doesn't make it into my general rotation just because it is really sweet and there's a lot of sugar in it. This is a really good race day option because it does top off those glycogen stores right before you start. But for like everyday breakfast, this is not for me. It's too sweet. I don't like things that sweet. Okay, I do like sweet, but I don't like it like over the top, and this is borderline. I also add in my combination of hemp, flax, and chia seed. This is mainly for me on race day, channeling the Tarahumara vibes with the chia seed. That is it in its simplest form. This is also a good long run option, certainly something to try out before race day. The second variation of this is the savory breakfast burrito. But this time we're going to put some refried beans on there. This one is super easy. Smash them all up, and these, they're just smashed pinto beans. And then I get a little bit of sriracha and put that on there for flavor. I like my things very spicy. And then I'm gonna get a couple tomatoes and put those on here as well. There are some carbs, but this is more of a, what I'd call a sustaining snack with the fat and the protein inside those beans. It's not going to top off your glycogen stores or anything like that. The last thing I put on these guys is a crack or two of salt. Sometimes I'll have this if I'm just not feeling like something sweet in the morning. And last but not least, Talenti. Just kidding. Ice cream for breakfast is bad. But I'd totally do it. These are the perfect containers for my, drumroll please, quote meal. It's my rendition of oatmeal since I can't have oats. So instead I use quinoa. And that is the first ingredient. So I just put like kind of what I think I would need in the morning. And then I will put my berries in there. I like lots and lots of berries. Oja. Strawberries. And sometimes I'll even put in frozen fruit because when the fruit melts, I make it even more flavorful. I really do my very best to add lots of seasonings, a little bit of cinnamon, some nutmeg as well, and then the good stuff, peanut butter. What are we missing? Tarahumara vibes. Yes, again, the chia, flax, and hemp seed blend. Just to add some more calories, those omega-3s. And we're really trying to pack in the protein as well. And lastly, honey. Honey is nature's best sweetener. I take it back. Son of a gun. Hopefully your honey cooperates and is well behaved because mine isn't. Mix it all together and you know you got the best of both worlds. So that is one heck of a quote meal. It's good cold, it's good hot. Whatever your preference is. I usually eat mine cold just because I pre-make it. I gotta clean up this mess. Thank you guys for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you did in fact like the video. The rest of these videos, part 2 and 3, will be posted in the coming weeks. So please look forward to those. Wow, did I make a mess. A tasty mess though. Happy trails! So, I mean, sorbet in the morning for breakfast really wouldn't be the end of the world. Fruit, that's nutrition.